conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we're good.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for coming. Tonight is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, our 5 o'clock Board of Trustee meeting. Can we call the order date, please?
Yes, please. Ms. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Genowine?
Here.
Mr. Mahoney?
Here.
Simcoe here.
And then we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, did we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? How about approval of the minutes from September 16th? Any questions on that? I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from September 16th.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Okay. Oliver, I know we talked a little earlier about this. Are we going to just go ahead and get our other business done first and then we'll go into the zoning? Is that?
Correct. The resolution approved by the board in January. Zoning items come at the end.
Okay. So zoning, just hang tight here. Okay, guys, we'll try to get to you as soon as we can. So with that being said, let's dive into the fire department. Chris.
Good evening, trustees. Chief Officer Simcoe. I've got two resolutions consideration this evening. The first one, 25-171, an authorization to enter into a memorandum of understanding with IFF 2243 regarding the lateral transfer policy adjustment.
Any questions on the board from that? I'll offer resolution 25-171 and enter a memorandum of understanding with IAF 2243.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
The second resolution is 25-174. It's an authorization to hire one full-time firefighter paramedic. Sound like a broken wheel up here.
Any questions on that, board? I'll offer resolution 25-174 to hire one full-time firefighter.
Second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. And then Daryl, you want to, or I'm sorry. Oliver, my bad. Sorry about that, Oliver.
Great, thank you. Good afternoon, trustees and fiscal officers. The first three items under administrator, the resolution 25-166, 25-167, and 25-168. All three are resolutions providing for the approval of collective bargaining agreements with the three bargaining units of the police department, the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association. Summary has been distributed to the trustees, and I would be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions on the board? I'll go ahead and just combine all of them. Do you want separate resolutions for these?
Would the combination be acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. I'll offer resolution 25-166, 167, and 168.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Next item is resolution 25-169, the resolution updating township policies. This would be for updating the existing business expense reimbursement and the existing credit card policies. Another summary has been distributed, and I would be glad to answer any questions.
Questions on the board?
Questions?
I'll offer resolution 25-169, updating township policies.
Second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine? Yes. Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Next item is resolution 25-170 to accept and agree upon recommendations from the healthcare committee. These are actions that are taken each year to provide for the approval of proposed 2026 premiums and employee contributions, the renewal of administrative services. This year, we would be continuing with Allied and Aetna. The renewal of administrative services through Delta Dental and Delta Vision, the adoption of a timeline for the submission of paperwork, and the updating of health savings account form. be glad to answer any questions.
I'll offer resolution 25-170 to accept and agree with the recommendations of the Healthcare Committee.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Last item is resolution 25-145, a resolution to authorize the filling of an anticipated vacancy in the zoning department. Administration has evaluated two possible routes of action. First would be filling the position as it's currently structured, in which case we would advertise for a part-time code enforcement officer, or alternatively, restructuring the position into a full-time planning and zoning assistant. Information has been distributed, and we'd be glad to answer any questions the board may have.
I'll offer resolution, any questions by the board? I'll offer resolution 25-145, filling anticipated vacancy in the zoning department.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Thanks, Oliver.
Thank you.
Dave, you've got a brief
Yep.
presentation on the fiscal report?
I do for August. We're starting to move a little bit more, into the year, into August, but our expenditures or our revenues are above the threshold of 67%. So revenue wise, we're doing, nicely, a little bit better than anticipated. And our expenditures are below or close to our threshold. And I'm quite satisfied with where our expenditures are too. And we still have some additional monies to come in from the county that should catch us up. But again, I think at this point in August, we're looking very good financially.
Okay.
And so that's that. I do have a couple resolutions. Resolution 25-175, that's to transfer appropriations, and we're basically just moving money within an account. We aren't using so much in one fund, and we could use it in another fund. So it's just inter-department transfers, or inter-fund transfers. And I'd ask you to approve it. They're not very much, but it's important that, so we can pay some of those bills. And so resolution, I'd ask you to approve resolution 25-175.
Questions?
What do we still have election expenses for?
Let me just see. Oh,
We don't have them here at the township anymore.
no,
Usually we budget it and then basically they remove the money. So that's what it is. So because we knew we did not have it, but as it was there previous year,
Yeah.
that's why we had it, and now we are just moving the money.
Okay.
so we're moving that money to, as you can see, annual household pickup and then putting it somewhere else.
That's a good question.
So Mr. Mahoney moved.
Actually, did I offer a resolution on this? Resolution,
Not yet.
I'll offer resolution 25-175, transfer appropriations.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And I have one other resolution, and it's resolution 25-176. And again, it's an appropriation from an unencumbered balance. And we're actually moving some money in the waste and leaf disposal fund. And for equipment and maintenance and repair, an amount of $10,000 for that equipment and that we have. So I ask you to approve this resolution.
Questions? I'll offer resolution 25-176, appropriation of encumbered balance.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. And then on the non-agenda items, I have one person that has signed in, and forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it right. Sharon Lamb? Sharon, is it Sharon?
Yes.
Come on up. If you could, Sharon, just introduce yourself to the tape, name, address.
I'm Sharon Lamb, 7760 Laurel Glen Way. It's
Is that Laurel Lane?
Laurel Glen Way.
Laurel Glen, Laurel, okay, thank you.
I I don't have a lot to say, and I wasn't here, I was out of town at your last meeting. I would have been there listening to the presentation about the glass recycling issue. I live in the apartments there, and I just wanted to give you my perspective on having lived through the last year there. I've been there about 7, almost 8 years. And until about this time last year, I never noticed any problem. At that time, we started noticing several residents who go out and walk a lot noticed vague kind of gas smells. The fire department came out and very timely checked to make sure we didn't have a gas leak. So we knew where it was coming from. Eventually, we figured out it was the diesel fumes from the glass recycling plant having switched to diesel for a while, and we were getting some fumes kicked back. Oftentimes, it's when the weather just happens to be just right to send in our direction, since we're not very far away, maybe a quarter mile. But there have been several times where personally, myself and my sister who also lives in the complex, and I know several others also, have had respiratory distress, asthma hiccups, eyes burning, throat burning, nausea, headaches, based on how strong it was and how long it lasted. Sometimes from 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon until midnight. There was one time in July when it was particularly bad. I know that they were switching over fuels, and they were planning some other help with managing the dust and those kinds of things, because our cars are always covered with the white powdery dust every morning. But on the 18th, evening of the 18th, going into the 19th of September, there was a particular night where I slept through it. I just come back in out of town and slept through the evening event, but I saw the notices of the other neighbors in the morning about how bad it had gotten, clouds of black stuff of some kind coming in the evening. And in the morning, when I went out to walk, I took pictures of what our cars looked like, and I have those gladly passed on to you if you like.
Mrs. Lamb, if I could maybe just, I know typically when and I maybe should have said this up front. Typically, when it's a non-agenda item, we give you about 3 minutes to speak. And I'm so happy you're here, but I know the last couple of times you've not been able to make it, that we've made a time for you on the agenda. Could we get you back at the next meeting with this? We've got a pretty extensive, we allow 3 minutes, and I try to abide by it as best I can.
Absolutely, and that's really all I had to say. I just want.
Okay, I don't want you to be upset with us. It's just a formality on our end, so, okay. Okay.
A lot of other things on your agenda. If I can give you pictures to pass around.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And some evidence of what I wiped off on a paper towel off my car. It's not just white dust as it usually is. So that, just so that you're aware.
Sure.
And then I'll pick them up at the end of the event.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. And again, you're more than, if we get you on the agenda, the floor is yours, okay? It's a non-agenda item, it's all.
I just wanted you to be aware that it is an ongoing problem, and that there's other people who can say more than I do.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Oh, you need help? Here, let me get that for you.
That's all right, I got it.
You sure?
Thank you.
Okay. Here, Jeff, I'll just pass those down for you. Yes. Okay, thanks. Here's this. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you didn't wipe that dust off on some of those nice cars, Mrs. Lamb, because there's some really nice cars in these pictures. That would hurt a paint job. All right. Here's what looks like a byproduct of that, so.
I guess. Or,
Yeah, I think it's,
unless she wants it back.
yeah, she does want it back, so, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for sharing these.
I can take them. I can run it out if you want.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. Thanks, okay. Great, okay, let's get into the zoning department. Daryl, you've got a full plate tonight, so. Evening, how are you? Good, thanks.
The first item is our continued discussion from the September 2nd meeting regarding the proposed resolution 25152 for front-facing rooftop solar panels.
Got it, okay. So I think what we should do for this, if it's okay with you guys, we've got a couple people that signed in like to speak on behalf of this tonight. We're not opening anything up in a public hearing per se, right? We're going to take some input, have some discussion, and make a vote. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. In no particular order, I've got Doug Schmucker. Is Doug here? Doug, come on down. You would like to say something tonight?
I would.
Evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Doug, just for the tape, your name, address, please.
Douglas Schmucker,
Okay.
County Doug, 9810 West Bancroft. First time here, so bear with me. I want to thank Albert for giving a little intro before the meeting got started. So I have signed up and committed to have solar put on my house. And my rep from Superior Solar is here today with me also. And it's disappointing to say the least when our permit was denied based on the fact that the policy says no road front facing on the roof. I requested a variance to that and learned that there's no such thing as a variance on a policy that says you can't have it. And so I just want to share that I believe a couple things, and I would love to talk further. I know tonight isn't the time to do that, but in my opinion, that flat blanket policy comes probably in my mind from like the 1990s. And if you fast forward to 2025, if I may share with you what I printed off from Zillow most recently. I approached and it's up.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thanks, Doug.
Does it want to you if you want? Okay, one moment. So not only has public opinion on solar changed, they've also began to embrace it in that values of the houses with it increase on the average of around 4.1%. And it is no longer viewed as this obtrusive thing to look at. It's actually, I'm going to use the word popular, and I just got an EV car. I'm excited about being able to get charged using solar and reduce the draw that's on our grid. In addition to that, I'm sure there's many different approaches how this, as I would request, be amended, but I have 3 pictures here of my house.
Thank you.
There's a road view. Here is a sky view, and then here is the proposed panel layout. And you'll see at 9810 West Bancroft, we're about 450 feet off the road. You can't see my house. We have 5-acre lots. You can't see my neighbor's house. So to not have any option for me as a homeowner in the township, I mean, even if it's getting support from my neighbors, I don't know what terms to use for you to be persuasive to say that there needs to be in 2025 a way for front-facing solar panels to be allowed. And to another point that, I mean, I don't want to push too hard, but as I understand it, I was here last week and spent time in that room over there. If I'm 60 feet away from the right of way, I can put it on a pedestal in front of my house. Help me understand that I could put, and that's less obtrusive. To me, blending it into the roof is a better way to go than a cantilever, this section of the room on a post in front of my house facing the road. So I implore you to consider adjusting that in the current policy and bringing it up to what I think, again, my opinion, to 2025's approach to solar. I'd be happy I'm not thoroughly knowledgeable about everything. I might default to my rep. If you'd have any questions, I'm happy to take those.
I might have a question for our fire chief in a few minutes, but that's a great piece of property, by the way. It's very beautiful. I can see where you like living back there.
47 years.
Yeah, it's a nice piece, yeah. And sorry about your restaurant too, right? Yeah, love your place, so. Yeah, I can't wait to have you back, so. Is Josh Recker, and thanks again, Doug. Is Josh Recker here? Would like to say something? Hi, Josh. Good evening.
Evening. I guess I'll start with, I'm not a resident.
Hey, do me a favor, just for the tape. It's not because I'm nosy. I just need to know the name, address, and who you are.
My name's Josh. I live at 201 Canterbury Drive, Kalida, Ohio. It's a little over an hour southwest of here. And that's where our company is based out of. And I guess I wanted to show up on behalf of Doug tonight, just to show my support for him and kind of add to his argument of why we both believe that this should be allowed and is valid. Mostly because you can't see it. You never will see it unless you drive up to Doug's house. And to add on to Doug's point, we could do a ground mount array in his front yard, in his backyard, but we both agree that that is more intrusive and further harms his land than putting it on the roof. So, I guess just wanted to add that, and we put it on a different section of the roof. It's gonna, lose efficiency because the way Doug's house is set up, his front facing roof is south facing, and that is the ideal, direction to face solar panels. We're gonna get the most output out of them. So if we would move them around, it is possible, but it's just going to add more panels and also cost more money, which we want to avoid. So
sure.
I guess that's my argument. If you have questions that you have to answer.
Can I shoot myself?
Briefly. Yeah, briefly. Thanks, Doug.
With the statistics of the increased value, means more property taxes.
Touche. I have a question for you, John, or Josh.
Sure.
So, and maybe Chris, you could help me, and maybe Chris, I should have called you before to have this conversation, but reading about these solars on these roofs, a couple things that come to mind. One is, if there, God forbid there was a fire, right? Are those solar panels still charged during a fire?
They're not. There's a disconnect switch on them. It's mandated by NEC code and the utility company.
Okay.
We install a disconnect switch. It's a main shutdown of the system. So there's a fire in Doug's house. Fire department gets there, they can turn it off.
So they physically have to turn it off.
They would have to completely turn it off.
Same as they do power in the house, though.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
there is a master disconnect switch that can shut the array off.
Okay.
And it's right by the meter.
Got it. Chris, do you have any thoughts or opinions of being the chief of the fire department, what your thoughts are? If you don't mind, I'm going to have Chris come up and see what your opinion is.
Ground mounted arrays don't really affect us as significantly. Our biggest challenge is if the entire roof is covered. That's going to hamper any efforts that we have for vertical ventilation, which is one of our key components to make the interior tenable, not only for us, but for any victim that might be in that house. So when you put them on the front and the back, that's a problem. One side we can deal with. The shutoffs are available, but again, it takes time to get to the shutoff. The shutoff's not properly marked. Sometimes people put bushes and all kinds of other stuff up around because they don't want to see that stuff. That becomes a challenge for us, particularly in the middle of the night.
Okay.
The batteries that store, depends on where they store them. If they have a separate building outside, or if they're inside, you melt the battery down, becomes H2S, which is deadly to anybody. So, there are some challenges to these systems. They have great benefit, but there are some challenges from a firefighting perspective. I think the homeowners that put these on need to know that there's an inherent risk that you're not going to have a house left if it starts to burn.
So we're basically asking for 3/4 of the house to allow for them, it's just not the front. Is that what we're talking about here, board? You can put them on the side, you can put them on the back, but you can't, we're saying. Well, hold on, please don't interrupt, I'm sorry. I'm having some discussion with our board.
I guess with this particular residence, it is a beautiful piece of property. It appears to have a significant amount of trees, one, and we are sitting in Northwest Ohio, two. I have talked to actually an individual who was the head of the California Electric Company and asked him about the return on your investment with something like this. And he said, you'll never get it back. So that's just to add to this discussion. I concur with Chief Nye. He obviously knows more about this than I do, but from what he's saying, I see this as a potential and high fire risk also. And I don't think it's wise.
Okay. John?
I think most of the concerns that we have, as I have, are addressed by the homeowners associations and things. And I'm pretty confident your neighborhood, I spoke to the developer, restricts front-facing, and I think I forwarded that to Daryl, front-facing solar panels. So, again, when you're looking at Mr. Schmucker's property, I can't see where that, if his front of his house faces south, that's where you'd put the solar panels. And, when you look at today, I know my neighbor just put in an EV charging station for their cars. I don't think we can look at fire as a reason. Obviously, I'm sure that our firemen are trained on this sort of stuff. And again, the more we make people aware of the shutoffs and things, the safer our community will be. But I just, to restrict it from everybody, you go out west, by Creaky Farms and stuff, and I just can't imagine telling them that they couldn't put something on the front of their house. And where it doesn't make sense in a neighborhood where all the houses are built similar and there's a certain look to them, I got to believe that those are already written into the bylaws as to what is permitted and things. And like you said, a lot of our area is covered by trees. No one in my neighborhood has any solar panels, but you hardly get any sunlight in there. So, but I think it's kind of a stretch to restrict that completely from our community.
Hey, Daryl, could we allow, based on acreage, to make exceptions for it? Or sitting off the road, or I live over off Shamley Green, which is like over by Nantucket. If I had, selfishly, I'm not against solar panels, but if I had these in my front yard, I wouldn't want to look at them. I mean, and I don't have an association. I mean, there's a lot of places in Sylvania Township that don't have associations. And I think if there's a way, again, I hate government control, by the way. I'm not saying, I'm not a big fan of that either, but I'm also not a fan of just plopping these up. And I look at it, when I came tonight, I looked at it like 3/4 of the house have solar panels. That's pretty darn good. So what we're asking for is all 4 sides to be covered with solar. I mean, we can do the sides and we can do the rear. So you know what, if you don't have sun, I'm sorry, that cut a few trees out. I don't know the answer to that, but I also feel that, I for a guy like Schmucker, I feel bad that, he's all by himself out there, and off the grid per se. And again, with Creaky, I'm not disagreeing with you on that at all, John. But if we're going to do, if we had just those few folks that need this, but there's townships got 40,000 residents, I'm trying to look at it. How do we get across the board for everybody to try to make everybody happy? So my question to you is there a way that can you tighten this down or loosen this up a little bit to kind of make exceptions? Just like we make exceptions for a cow or a pig on a piece of property or a septic system, or, we make a lot of different exceptions, to allow for people to have a few farm animals on their property based on lot size and things of that nature. Is that something the board would be interested in looking at?
I mean, that'd be somewhat, yeah. I mean, again, my neighborhood doesn't have an association, and,
Can you imagine somebody putting some solar panels in their front yard?
we've got a couple, but again, I don't want people telling me what I can do, what I can't do either.
We, in terms of the association that is right next door to ours, literally, just passed a resolution for their HOA, no solar panels, none.
Period?
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And it abuts ours.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is, I get the argument, Mr. Schmucker, I really do. However, if you let one, then the next person's going to say, well, wait a minute, you let person A do it. Why won't you let me? Because I live out in, and I think it just becomes a chaotic opening can of worms to make exceptions.
Okay, do you guys want to vote on it?
What are we voting on?
Voting on for or against this, or unless you guys have another plan of what you want to, if you want to look at and continue this.
For or against front?
Well, we're together. You can come on up and introduce yourself, and then let me get your name down for the file, the number here, please.
My name is Alexander Lucek.
Hi, Alexander.
7037 Rainforest Road.
I'm sorry?
7037 Rainforest Road.
70, my bad. I'm getting old. 7073?
7037 Rainforest Road.
Rainwaters Road.
Ramblehurst.
Okay, Ramblehurst, okay.
I had a situation, I do have solar panels on my house. Something happened with the contract. But the chief said something about fire hazard. You cannot catch on fire because there's no batteries in the house. Everything is hooked up to the grid. So if something happens, mine actually pop the trigger. All it does is just pops like a fuse. We call the solar panel company. They'll come out and they hook it up. There's no fire hazard or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The solar panels look like just an ordinary, what do you call those? Skylight windows. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ones I've seen.
I mean, they look perfectly fine. Keep them on the floor. Animals are gonna come around there. Kids might touch it. It's low voltage. It's not nothing hard. If anything, it's safer than real power.
Where are they located at your house,
Mine
Alex?
on my roof.
Front, back, side?
Front and back, we have an issue right now because apparently something happened where they installed front and back. But I need them in the front due to the sun to get more power, which is not fair for the neighbor across the street that wants the panels in their house. They can't put it on because their roof is facing the front. So they're not gonna get no power at all if you put them in the back. Trees, people cut trees these days. But, everyone's trying to lower their power right now because it's crazy. I mean, I went from my solar chargers on both my EV cars, my swimming pool, my hot tub, air conditioning, everything, my power is only, electrical bill's only $100. If I get rid of the solar panels, I'm gonna be paying like $800-900 a month. And your car can actually, if your car catches on fire, the batteries, you cannot, you can't extinguish a car with the solar panels don't have batteries unless you want to spend another $20,000 and put the batteries inside a house. Now that, I'm probably against it, but I mean, EVs are more actually dangerous than solar panels. And a lot of people just right now is putting solar to save money. House right across the street, Orlando Park has solar in front of the house. Harrisburg has some solar on in front of the house. Toledo has them. I know every single house. I drove everywhere around Toledo to find out which house has in the front. And most people put them in the front or the back. But it just depends how your house is facing. You know, some people don't like them. I don't see nothing different than a skylight and a bunch of skylights on the top. I mean, it's also it actually protects your roof for a long time.
Okay, well, thank you, Alex, appreciate it. Doug, briefly, you got something briefly to say?
Yeah, I just lost it. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, I do remember.
Okay.
I agree. You shouldn't offer me an exception. I think for the township, there needs to be an adjustment to permit under certain parameters. I mean, I'm not special. I'm one of, how many you said, 40,000? I'm not asking you to do me a favor. I'm not.
Right.
I'm asking for the township to make a provision under certain parameters, whatever. Are you legal counsel?
No, I'm
Zoning department, however it would be drawn up to allow me to fit into that.
Understood.
Well, we've heard from a lot of people from the last meeting totally against the project, and now I'm hearing people saying they're for the project. So what if, just talking out loud, you guys, obviously I'm just one vote here. I think we probably need, let's just fine tune this thing one more time and look at if there's any, except you guys, it's up to you guys. But if I had to vote on it right now, I'd probably say no. But I think out of respect for Ramblehurst, people in Ramblehurst, people that already have existing, we go back to those people and tell them to take them down. I mean, the cat's kind of out of the bag a little bit on this, but I think we probably need to just cover our base with our legal counsel and make sure we're covered tight and hold off to the next meeting on this thing.
I think if, you would not tell them to take it down. You would grandfather them in because they're already up.
Right, I don't want that either, right? What do you think, John? Or do you want to vote on it tonight? I don't care, whatever you want to do.
You know, I think like Daryl pointed out last meeting, you know, the homeowners association takes care of fences, they take care of sheds. I mean, all those items are addressed in those things. And I kind of view that the same boat as these. And, you know, obviously the older neighborhoods might be the ones that suffer, but
I bet you there's more non-homeowners associations than there are homeowners associations. Daryl, what's the numbers on that? Any chance you can look into that for us, just for curiosity's sake in the future?
Yeah, I'll look that up. Maybe Mr. Nash might.
Just deed restrictions. I mean, Neil, you're probably more tuned into this than anybody else in the room.
Yeah.
You know, I hate saying that you can't do something in our community, but, you know, on the same side, when you drive down like the 12 Lakes condo road, like they would look out of place there. And, you know, I understand how you want to keep things uniform and things, but I think that's taken care of. Have you read they're not permitted in your neighborhood, are they?
Correct. Not in the front facing and not in the street facing, however, there was an individual who put them up.
I guess in essence of time here, because we do still got a full plate, I'm willing to vote on it tonight, or I'm willing to push it to tie it down with Burrell, our attorney, and make sure we're covered in every which way but loose. We've gone this far.
Yeah, there's no harm in pushing it and checking a few more things in terms of the size of the lot and things, but.
Yeah, I think there's some things we might be able to work with the citizens, like that are off the grid or kind of, I'm with you too, John. I think you'd be shocked as how many non-homeowners associations are located in Sylvania Township. You'd be shocked. It's a lot more than what we have just out west.
I think if we do this, we're going to have to be extremely specific with the can and cannots. I heard a lot of residents two meetings ago who were very much vehemently against solar panels.
Right.
So
right.
I think the community is divided also.
Well, we've gone this far. Let's just wait another couple of weeks and we'll maybe get to Dara on the next day or so, what your last minute questions or what have you. Okay? Got a plan there, Big D? Okay.
Offer to table this time?
Yeah, we'll offer to table. So do I need to offer a resolution to table it?
I would just make a motion, I think, to table it, table resolution, whatever it is there.
All right, I'll offer to table resolution 152.
Second.
Ms. Johnson?
Respectfully, no.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Okay, moving on to our billboard, item 7.3. Okay, Daryl, you might as well just stay up there.
What's that?
Yep, good, you're good.
Article 5, Central Avenue overlay of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution mandates that no new pole signs shall be permitted in the Central Avenue overlay district. Article 14, Signs and Advertisements, Section 1403, specifies that off-premise signs larger than 72 square feet are prohibited. Section 1406 dictates that a freestanding electronic message center shall not exceed 50% of the total allowable square footage for any on-premise freestanding sign. Section 1408 mandates a maximum height of 30 feet and a maximum sign face area of 100 square feet for a pole sign in C2 General Commercial District. Section 1414 again states that an off-premise sign greater than 72 square feet is considered a billboard and is prohibited. Additionally, an off-premise sign shall not have a height greater than 15 feet. The applicant is proposing amendments to the above sections of the zoning resolution to allow for the erection of a 45-foot tall EMC billboard with a sign face 378 square feet on Central Avenue. Their proposal calls for these billboard signs to be a conditional use approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals in commercial and industrial zone districts, and to have a minimum spacing distance between billboard signs of 13,500 feet. The proposed sign as requested would be prohibited in Springfield and Monclova Townships, as well as the cities of Sylvania, Toledo, Ottawa Hills, Maumee, and Perrysburg. Lucas County Planning Commission planning staff recommended disapproval, and the Lucas County Planning Commission voted to recommend disapproval to the township of the requested text amendment. The zoning commission also voted to recommend disapproval to the trustees of the requested text amendments at its June 11th hearing. Zoning staff recommends disapproval of these amendments to Articles 5 and 14 of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution for the following 7 reasons. 1, the township has demonstrated significant efforts the past 20 years to reduce the negative impacts of pole signs and billboard signs, particularly within the Central Avenue overlay. 2, a similar request for a billboard sign was disapproved by the Board of Trustees in 2020. 3, these signs would no longer be permitted within other nearby and larger jurisdictions. 4, as referenced in the Lucas County Plan Commission's May 28, 2025 staff report, the adverse visual impact of these signs has been well documented. 5, the Lucas County Planning Commission planning staff recommended disapproval of the subject request. 6, the Lucas County Planning Commission recommended disapproval to the township of the subject request. And 7, the Sylvania Township Zoning Commission recommended disapproval to the trustees of the subject request. And the applicants are here this evening as well.
Okay. We'll just kind of go down the list here. I guess we'll start with is Greg?
Yes.
Hi, Greg, come on up.
We're opening the public.
We're opening a public hearing at 5:45. And I will say, I will be abstaining from this vote tonight. I've got, for my legal counsel, a conflict on this one, so I'll be sitting back. But Doug, go ahead and, or Greg, go ahead and introduce yourself, address and all that kind of stuff.
Hi, my name is Greg Chirola. My address is 5030 Advantage Drive, Toledo. I work for Lamar Advertising as the Vice President and General Manager. Shall I go ahead and just?
Please, yeah, whatever you'd like to say.
So just a few changes. We'd like to present a text amendment to the overlay district on Central Avenue. And just a little background, Lamar is a company that's been in business for 123 years. We're an outdoor advertising company. I've worked for Lamar for 37 years, 25 of them here in Toledo, Northwest Ohio, living in Sylvania. And what I'm about to present is just like your support on, and it's maybe a little different than what what has been presented in the past and might interest the township. I'm presenting the text amendment as kind of a partnership, a private-public partnership with the township. And we can get into a little bit more of that as the presentation goes on. But so what we'd like to present is a back-to-back EMC on Central Avenue, which would be located in front of the development, which was in front of the Giant Eagle on Central Avenue. So we're presenting it to be limited to the Central Avenue overlay district. The square footage of the sign is 378 square feet. The height of the sign is 45 square feet. It's located in, as Daryl said, a commercial industrial zone. We're presenting 13,500 spacing, so on either side of the sign, because through conversations, we know that there's concern that there'd be other applicants and other signs, so we're presenting a 13,500 foot spacing, so that would take anything west of the sign would take you out of the business and commercial area on Central Avenue to the west, and then to the east, 13,500 takes you past, down to the Metro Park. So that takes you out of the overlay district to the east. So this would only allow for one sign on Central Avenue. So here's just a map of the overlay district and what we're presenting zoning on either side. The red is the business overlay district on Central Avenue. The little green square where the sign would be located. This covers both sides of Central Avenue, so it would be the only sign allowed. Next, please. So this just shows an overview of the property. And then kind of a mock-up of what the sign would look like on Central Avenue. As you can tell, as you can see, the top part of the sign has Sylvania Township and kind of like a crest design of the township logo. So it's going to act as a kind of a marquee sign for the township, where it would designate people that are, in the area that they would have, that they're in the Sylvania Township area. So some of the benefits that we provide to the community is that our digital signs, we work with Amber Alerts, so if any tragedy happens with an Amber Alert in the community, we work with that group that puts up Amber Alerts. We get a notice, we have artwork templates, and we act pretty quickly in getting that out into the streets. Severe weather, we're working with NOAA and the Ohio Travelers Alert System, so if there's any future severe weather, like tornadic activity, those kinds of things, we can use the digital boards to warn people. We also work with marshals and FBI on fugitives, missing people. So the sign will serve as kind of a public communication tool as well as a commercial display, but the benefit would be that out of eight slots on the sign, the township would have access full-time to use one of the slots on each sign. So just to break it down, it's 2,906 times a day that the message from the township would be displayed. It's for non-political use. So, announcements to the general public, township meetings, events, branding, those kinds of things that the township would take advantage of, initiatives. Just general information to residents as well as people from outside Sylvania Township that are visiting. Also would serve as a local landmark just because it has a marquee, designating that that you're in Sylvania Township. So you can see the branding at the top of the sign. It would be illuminated, the Sylvania Township lights up at night. Next. So this is an example of what we've done in Perrysburg Township, exact same size sign. This is on Fremont Pike on State Route 20. So it's a very similar road, and you can see that it's not, it fits within that commercial area. It's not too large, but it's large enough to be seen. Our industry is very highly regulated. Our lighting systems are, we have state codes where our brightness of lights, each sign changes every 8 seconds. That's according to state code. There's no full motion. It's just one design after another. It's kind of a layering effect, so they don't blink. There's no motion like you could see on a lot of on-premise signs. We're regulated not to do that. Next, please. And then I just put together some examples. So we do this in other communities. As I know that, the zoning, Darryl pointed out that, a lot of communities don't like billboards. They've tried to get zoned out billboards just like the overlay district. But we're finding a lot of communities are having trouble reaching residents, and we're offering a way they can, the landscape and media and reaching people has changed in the last 20 years. And so what we're offering the community is a way to reach residents that they normally wouldn't have access to. We worked with Perrysburg Township, which was a township that didn't allow billboards. We worked with the township and got a variance for the billboard up. They used their slots to advertise things like holidays. They recognize township employees. They have different events. They have open houses, Christmas tree pickups, leaf pickups, just those kinds of things they notice. And it's evolving. So they, they start out with a little design. Now I get artwork from them all the time. Oh, we got this going on. We got this going on. Can you do this? Can you? We have an art department that will, take care of designs and work with them. And, this is kind of stuff that we will do for them. So it's really a benefit to the community that you otherwise would not have. The other thing is, the reason why we're asking also for this is there is a need. I mean, we have a lot of requests for Sylvania Township. Obviously, Central Avenue is a very vibrant area. So there's a lot of advertisers that are in Sylvania that want to advertise. We have people from around Sylvania that want to advertise to people in Sylvania Township. We work and we're members of the Sylvania Chamber. We do a lot of work with Sylvania Chamber. They're supportive of this initiative. And we also have, been talking about safety. And there really is not an effect on safety as far as the traveling public. So there was a study done at Virginia Tech, the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute did a study back in like the mid-2000s for the outdoor advertising industry. And it was a pretty extensive survey study that studied driving habits and accidents, and they found no correlation between billboards, digital billboards, and increase in traffic accidents. Recently, there was a new study that actually was commissioned by Texas Department of Transportation. They commissioned the Texas A&M Transportation Technology Institute at Texas A&M to do a study. It was a pretty extensive study as well, where they track eye movement on all kinds of signs, not just outdoor advertising, not just digital signs, but on-premise signs and information signs. And they found that there was no effect. When you add billboards into the mix, no effect on traffic safety, no increase in accidents. So there's just no correlation. And I think mainly because we're highly regulated. We're highly regulated in size and space and distances. Our digital signs are highly regulated, unlike on-premise signs and even state signs, traffic signs, which also add to the mix. But just because we're very heavily regulated on brightness and our sizes are pretty consistent with the industry, that it's not as, they're easier to read, put it that way. So on-premise signs can be hard to read just because they're all different shapes and sizes. And so we're asking for approval of the text amendment, and I'll prepare to answer any questions.
Any questions on the board? This, Tevin Williams, is that?
Tevin is my real.
Oh, hi, Tevin. Did you want to add anything to the public record? Okay. And then how about Mark Wellesley?
Mark Wellesley.
Hi, Mark. Okay. Good there. Okay. Anybody else that'd like to speak on behalf of this, for or against? Okay, I'll close the public hearing at 5:58. You guys will have to discuss it, sorry.
I'll offer resolution 25-116, resolution to approve amendments to section 509, 1403, 1406, 1408, and 1414, the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution to permit billboard signs in the township.
I'll second.
Calling the roll. Ms. Johnson?
No.
Mr. Genowine?
No.
Okay. Thanks for your effort. Thanks for coming tonight, guys. Okay, third is, where are we at here? Sorry. Oh, this is Durban, or no, Sylvania Met, okay. Daryl, fire away on Sylvania Met.
We'll open the public hearing here.
On Sylvania Met? I don't think there was a public hearing on that.
Do we first let him present, or is that part of the public
I
hearing?
think it should be part of the public hearing because he's offering like kind of evidence or.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll open the public hearing back at 5:59.
Property at 9640 Sylvania Metamora is a 5.7 acre undeveloped parcel zoned C2 general commercial. The applicant's existing development abuts on the north of the zone R4 PUD. To the east, a single-family dwelling zoned A3 agriculture. The Eagle Creek subdivision is to the south on the opposite side of Sylvania Metamora Road. And a small office building zoned C2 general commercial abuts the subject parcel to the west. Conditional use for a residential care facility was approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals in 1999, and Sunset Village was constructed in 2001. The zone changed to a PUD completed in 2015 to allow for the development of 16 independent senior living villas on the southeast side of the property. And earlier this year, an amendment to that PUD was approved by the Board of Trustees to allow for the development of 25 more villas to be located on the southwest side. The applicant wishes to change the zoning of the undeveloped parcel from C2 to R4 PUD to facilitate the development of an additional 11 villas. Access to the newest phase would be via the previously approved phase on the southwest side of the facility. Section 4.1 of the zoning resolution dictates that an R4 PUD have no more than 8.7 units per gross acre of development. This proposed development has a density of just under 3.9. The proposed development meets and/or exceeds the zoning resolution's requirements for impervious cover and open space. The Township Land Use Plan recommends low/medium density residential uses for parcels along both sides of Sylvania Metamora Road between Mitchell and Allen Roads. Corresponding districts being A3 agriculture, RA low density, and R2 medium density residential. Lucas County Planning staff recommended approval, and at the August 27th meeting, the Lucas County Planning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval to the township. Sylvania Township Zoning Commission also unanimously recommended approval of the requested zone change at its September 10th meeting. And zoning staff is recommending approval of the zone change request from C2 general commercial to R4 PUD for the property at 9640 Sylvania Metamora Road for the following two reasons. One, the proposed zone change should not create an unreasonable adverse impact upon existing nearby properties. And two, the proposed zone change is compatible with the neighboring uses. And I believe the applicant is here virtually.
Okay, hi applicant.
Hello.
Hi, if you could, maybe get your name and for the tape, if you would, please. And we're still in public hearing, so I'm not sure if you'd like to add any more to what's already been said, but you're more than welcome to.
Pete Lonnie, 3855 Lower Market Street, Lebanon, Ohio, 45036. We like your recommendation.
Okay. And one more time on that name, please. I'm sorry.
Pete Lonnie, Lahni.
Thanks, Pete. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to speak on or for or against the project? At this juncture, I'll close the public hearing at 6:03. Any questions?
So the property just to the north of this zone change is already under construction with similar
Yes.
villas? Yeah. Okay. I drove through there and I was like, did they already start on this or what was going on?
That was the amendment to the PUD that the board approved last year.
Yeah.
I expect there to be more in the future.
So again, for clarification, how many units?
It would be 22 units, 11 villas.
Additional from what we're at.
Any other questions by the board? I'll offer resolution 25-172 to approve a zone change from C2 to R4 PUD located at 9640 Sylvania Metamora Road.
I'll second.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Thanks, Daryl. Last but not least.
Don't we have to open up the?
Oh, yeah, we need the. He's really kicking in right now. I'll open up the open meeting at 6:05.
Subject properties at 6044, 6048, and 6052 Durban Road consists of 3 undeveloped contiguous parcels in the Westfield Gardens residential subdivision, measuring a combined 0.4 acres. All 3 lots are currently zoned RA low-density residential. Like the subject properties, the parcels abutting to the east and south are zoned RA and in the Westfield Gardens subdivision. Single-family dwellings abut to the south, while those to the east are undeveloped. RA zone parcels also abut to the north and consist of single-family dwellings in the Trailwood subdivision. West of the subject properties, on the opposite side of Durban, are single-family dwellings in the Wilson Woods subdivision. These are in the city of Sylvania and are zoned R2 single-family residential small lot. The 3 individual subject parcels measure 40 feet in width or 120 feet total width. The current RA zoning requires a minimum 80-foot width to develop a parcel for a single-family dwelling. The R2 zone district allows a minimum lot width of 6 feet. The applicant is requesting a zone change from RA to R2 in order to combine the 3 40-foot wide lots and subsequently split into 2 60-foot wide lots for the purpose of constructing 2 new single-family dwellings. Land use plan recommends low/medium density residential uses for the parcels on the east side of Durban, north of Marshall Road. Those corresponding districts are A3 agriculture, RA low density, and R2 medium density residential. Lucas County Plan Commission planning staff recommended approval. On August 27th, the Lucas County Plan Commission voted to recommend approval to the township of the requested zone change. Sylvania Township Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the requested zone change on September 10th. Staff recommends approval of the zone change request from RA low density residential to R2 density residential for the properties at 6044, 6048, and 6052 Durban for the following 3 reasons. The proposed zone change is compatible with the recommendation of the land use plan. The proposed zone change should not create an unreasonable adverse impact upon existing nearby properties. And the proposed zone change is compatible with the neighboring uses. And Sammy, if you can scroll down to, yeah, that one right there. Might be a little confusing, but the 3 red squares on the page just above it show that's the 3 40-foot wide parcels, and then the one with the yellow dashed lines would show it converted to 2 60-foot wide parcels. And I believe the applicant's here.
Would the applicant like to speak on behalf for obviously for or against the project?
I'm obviously for, but I didn't separate it.
Anybody else would like to speak on behalf of the project? I'll close the public hearing at 6:08. Any conversation by the board?
What type of dwelling are you talking about? I'm assuming it fits in with the surrounding.
Family homes. So the plan is we're going to do 1 ranch home and 1 2-story.
Okay.
Okay, you know what I did? I was speaking ADD. I was chewing off the papers of my resolution. I need to know what the resolution number is. I'll offer resolution 25-173 to approve a zone change from RA to M, or to R2 medium density.
Did you get a second?
John seconded.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Mr. Knoll?
Yes.
That's all I have for tonight.
Good work this month, Darrell. Busy. At this juncture, I'd like to go adjourn at 6:09. Second.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.